Hi, everybody. Can everybody hear me through the mask? Sorry, no, so thank you so much for coming today. This is a Colby-Sawyer event in conjunction. Actually, it's a Lake Sunapee Region Chamber of Commerce event that Colby-Sawyer is a part of. And it's called Students as Resources. And I know that you probably don't want to listen to me stand up here and talk. You want to get to the students, which we will in just a little bit. But I just wanted to introduce us and tell you a little bit about the Harrington Center. My name is Colby-Sawyer, and I'm the Experiences Coordinator at the Harrington Center right here on campus. This is Risa Bridges Hall. She's our Community Engaged Learning Specialist. And just a brief overview of what we do. Also, I want to mention that Jen Talkman is the director, that she can't be here today, but she oversees all of this. Okay. So the biggest parts of our department are internships, community engaged learning, vocation, which we'll talk a little bit more about in just a bit. We do resumes for students. We help them create their resume. We help them construct their cover letters. We help with grad school applications. We give career advice. And then finally, we also are starting to do study abroad more and more now that COVID's hopefully more in the background. So that's what we're about for the most part. So I wanted to go into a little bit about what vocation is and what our definition is. There's a lot of verbiage up here that I don't expect you to read, but the bottom line, vocation, is how Colby-Sawyer is defining it, is the place where your deep gladness and the world's deep hunger meet. So it's more than just about making money. It's about finding your calling in life. And that encompasses 4 things that I'll go into super briefly. It's doing what you love, it's what the world needs, it's how you make money, and it's also what you're good at. And that centerpiece right there is nirvana. That's your vocation, that's your calling. And that's what Colby-Sawyer kind of wants to be known as the place where students come to find their passion, to find their calling. Sometimes you find what you're good at and what you can make money at. Well, that's great, but it might not be what the world needs. Or maybe you find something that you're good at and you love, but you're not making any money, which is not great either. So, like I said, those 4 things coming together is a vocation. So we're concentrating on making this a campus culture here at Colby-Sawyer College. And we're trying to infuse, not saturate. And we do that by trying to kind of create an awareness of vocation and doing what you love, what the world needs, what you're good at, all of that, into every part of the student experience, starting in classes, community engaged learning, which Reese is going to go into more, internships, clubs and activities on campus. Okay, so all of that, you're finding your vocation, you're finding what you love, what you're good at. Sorry. So the next, there's some handouts for the employers in the room, for everybody who wants them actually. And it goes a little bit more into the internship process and how the internships benefit students, how the internships benefit employers, and how to get one off the ground. So we can help you by constructing a student experience. We can help you by creating verbiage, creating an experience for the student, if that's what you'd like. But the bottom line is that it's a 2-way street. You're helping the student, giving them credit, they're getting the work experience and the credits, and they have to do an internship. So that's internships. I'm going to let Lisa talk a little bit about community engaged learning.
Well, if you look at internship, we're kind of starting at our home mothership, because that internship opportunity is what's really going to give you the total immersed experience into a project, a job, a company. And in order to get to that, what we're really trying to do at Colby is build the foundation so that you get those experiences, those hands-on experiences, not only with the big internship, but that we are going to start creating the building blocks along the way. So we want to take what you're learning in the classroom and, hey, actually, yeah, there we go. Take what you're learning in the classroom and partner with a community organization so that we can create a deliverable. So it becomes a win-win for everybody. The students get the practical experience. The company might have a project that you've been wanting to get to, and you can go back to create that deliverable. And that we can create a structure so that we have a positive outcome on engagement. And so that is like the why. Why community engaged learning? Well, as we talked about, there's a lot of wins. There is the student learning outcomes. There are the whole person. So it also gives that student the opportunity to take what Noelle was describing with vocation, to try it on for size and see, gee, do I really like this path? Is this an avenue I want to pursue? And it also helps with the institutional outcomes. It's creating community, and it's building partnerships not only with students, but with the campus and with the outside world. And we kind of are looking at, when it comes to community engaged learning, it kind of can come into three different buckets. We have an experience where it could just be a part of a class, where maybe in one of the first year experience classes, we have a course called What We Mean by Neighbor. So perhaps in that class, volunteerism is a component of that curriculum. So that class is partnering with multiple organizations within the community. It might be a food shelf, it might be working and doing some cleaning in the gardens come fall, but they're getting a little kind of a touch. And then it can evolve into where it is an integrated part of the course. So perhaps there is a company out there that has and wants a logo design. And so maybe this graphic design course is going to work together and come up with, say, 3 or 4 different logo designs, and then they will present it to our partner in the community. And then it could be where the whole course is an immersion course. And we have several of those where the whole course is built around that engagement. So in fact, we have a lot that's done with our, well, Amy's class in childhood development, and they work with partner organizations throughout the entire course. So that would be more at the high level. And over here on the side, you can just see there are some few examples of projects that we have partnered with. There we go. And so the basic thing is, if you are a member of the community, and there's so thankful to be part of the chamber, but as the chamber, we have a plethora of businesses, and there is never an idea that isn't worth exploring. And so what is in it for you, the community partner? And it can be a huge list, but the most important is that maybe it's allowing you to tackle that someday project. Maybe it is you have access to, the resources that are here on campus, the expertise of faculty and students. Our community-based research class really takes projects and they'll do a full 2-semester long study. Perhaps it's an analysis of a watershed and really bring back full reports, and they have access to that expertise. So there are a lot of things that we can engage with. It also gives you the opportunity to kind of get to know emerging young talent and be able to get to know them, and who knows, maybe there is a match and they will be part of your organization. So that's community engaged learning.
Yeah.
And exciting.
Yes, the part that you actually want to
That
say.
you really want,
Yeah, our
yeah.
students and ours. So I'm going to give you a quick overview of who they are and what they're going to be presenting on, and then I will read them up each term. Smriti Sharma is a nursing intern at the Cleveland Clinic in Weston, Florida. She's going to tell us about that experience. Followed by Bella Silva, who is a crime and legal studies major, and she did her internship in Gloucester, Mass. At the Orlando and Associates firm. And then we have three presenting together. We have Caitlin Baraka, Sarah Bad, and Isabel Marasola, who are all child development educational prep majors. They did a more local internship that was created by two professors on campus, Amy, who's right there, and Cherie Whipple. And they created this program called Invoking Wonder Through Science, and students partnered with local school districts, and they're going to talk a little bit about that. So I'd like to first introduce Smriti Sharma.
Thank you, Noel. Hi, everyone. I am Smriti. I am a senior nursing major, and I did my summer externship experience in Clinic, Florida. So this is a little background about why it's externship and not internship. It's because nursing students are not required to do an internship, as we do our clinical rotations in Dartmouth since our sophomore year. So this is an extra experience for me and for anyone who wants to do it, and it's not required by college. That's why it's called externship, just different name. So I did it in Cleveland Clinic, Florida. I found it, when I was applying, I applied to a lot of places. I did research in websites, I went into LinkedIn, I just Google searched nursing internship opportunities and stuff like that. I did not really need more help from Harrington Center because I did an internship last year as well. So I got a lot of help from them for last summer's internship. So now I already knew what I had to do and how I can prepare myself for the internship position. And I did it because it was an extra experience for me. I would never get this chance of going to Florida for the summer and working in that big hospital where they do all sorts of interventions and learning about them. This was definitely a big learning opportunity, and it was directly related to my major and my career. So, what is a nurse associate extern? It is an externship opportunity where I am paired with an RN, and I will follow them and do pretty much everything they do within the standards of practice. I was, of course, not able to do a lot of complicated patient care because I was in the critical care unit. I was in the medical ICU and surgical ICU. And we had a lot of heart transplant, kidney transplant, liver transplant, septic shock, all those patients who had a lot of things going on. So even though I was not able to maybe titrate their medicines with the real life-threatening stuff, but I was still able to assess them, make a plan with the nurse, and I was able to execute our plans. And we were the first cohort of externs at the hospital, so we definitely did paper path, and we are continuing to do it next year as well, so that means we left a good impression on them. The positive impact I had was relationships with patients. I still have a few patients in contact with me because they were excited about this opportunity that we got, and they really wanted to know more about where I end up and then what I'm doing. So that was a really fulfilling experience. The co-workers, they were really happy about the help just because it was a pandemic situation. Every place was understaffed and stuff. And when they had me just going around and asking, even if we needed help to turn a patient or just to do small things that matters, they were really happy to be able to offer that. The support I got was, of course, from Harrington Center. Thanks to Noel and Jen, they were very, very supportive supportive of me, and they helped me with everything. My advisor, Dr. Loftus, because she was my internship advisor, and every time I asked for something, she's always there to do anything for me. So really thank you for that. And I mean, not the most, but I'm very, very thankful for the Colby-Sawyer internship grant, because this Colby-Sawyer internship grant helped me cover some part of my rent and expenses while I was living in Florida. So it was very important for me because I would not be able to afford to move to a whole different state and live there for 3 months, because that would be very draining for my bank account. The benefits I had, as I said, a great critical care experience. I learned a lot of things that I would have never learned if I didn't do it. There are a lot of stuff. Nursing is a very vast field, and we cannot cram everything down in 4 years. So I don't think I would have ever had a chance to learn about IV insertion, blood draws, and all these different medications that are literally life-saving medications, and people are surviving because they're getting that medications. And of course, all the transplants and all different kind of machines that breathe for them, that pump the blood for them, and stuff like that. And as Noel was saying that the internship opportunity can help us find our calling, it exactly did that same thing for me. When I came here for nursing school, I had no idea why I wanted to be a nurse. My application essay was, I don't know why, but I want to be a nurse. And I had no experience prior to the hospital when I went to clinical for the nursing program. So when I went there from a critical care experience, I was like, this is exactly what I want to do. That was my calling. And now I know that what I want to end up is critical care setting, wherever I go. And then, surprise, surprise, they have already informally offered me a job as long as I pass my nursing school and pass my NCLEX exam, which is very, very good opportunity for me, because now I don't have to worry too much about searching for different places to apply if I want to go there, which I don't know yet. But that was a really great opportunity for me. And this is a picture, it's a little blur, but this was our cohort. We have our unit managers, our faculty instructor, and everybody there as well. And this is just the students in there. This was our cohort of nurses field externs. And we had a lot of fun this summer. Does anybody have any questions? That's it for today. Thank you.
And I think we're all clear benefit to the employer, and it doesn't need to be said that, you know, the healthcare industry at present is in need of individuals to work. So obviously, her presence was a huge help to her employer. I would next like to Bella Silva.
Hi everyone, I'd just like to introduce myself again. My name is Bella Silva. Most people call me Bella. I'm a primary English studies junior student here at Colby-Sawyer. I'm really excited that y'all came out to see the experience that all of us have experienced, you know, this summer. So today I will be going over where I completed my internship, the primary jobs that I held, the specific projects that had stood out during my time with the internship, and the overall impact on myself, community, and Colby-Sawyer. So where Orlando Associates is a personal injury law firm in Gloucester, Massachusetts. I'm from Danvers, Massachusetts, so the 25-minute drive is a lot more convenient than an hour and a half up to Colby-Sawyer. So this is kind of one of the reasons that I decided to pick this law firm and this home. In terms of the primary jobs that I held for the president and these associates trusted me in supporting them, compiling, and attendance. To be more specific, in terms of support, I support all the members of O&A and complex projects. Many of the projects I actually learned that most of them they usually provide to paralegals or to law school students, so I was really grateful that they entrusted me to work on such complex projects as an intern, especially an undergraduate intern. In law, it's usually rare that they have interns at the undergraduate level because a lot of the legality and the terms that you learn, you don't. When I went to law school, they were really entrusting me to do those complex projects. It was very rewarding knowing that I could support the firm in that way, just as an undergraduate student. In terms of compiling, I would review medical records and bills in various ways to ensure that the demand for settlement will get gone through. So if anybody's had any legal issues before, I have not, but if you are in a demand for a settlement is just the money that you are required to pay back to the person that you injured, et cetera, in terms of personal injury law. Lastly, I would attend client meetings, depositions, mediations, and motion hearings. For me, this was probably the most beneficial part of my internship because I was able to see the day-to-day work that the associates and the president did throughout the firm. I was able to truly see what I would be doing if I do continue to pursue law as my career. I was also able to help in these meetings because often, if any of the lawyers had missed something that the defendant had said, or if they needed, a quick copy, the copier, I would run upstairs and do it for them. But even that small task made me feel really important. I was able to continue those throughout all of those meetings that I attended. Within my main jobs, there were a handful of projects that were notable. I'm just going to talk about a few today. My first ever project dealt with research. This was a case that the firm needed me to do research on before I started compiling all that evidence and the medical bills and summaries that I just talked about previously. I researched the details that bolstered our client's argument as well as protected them further. Even more, my research allowed the attorneys to more easily understand the history of the case. So again, knowing that history and being involved in the process that goes into a legal settlement was really important to me. Second project that I dealt with was reviewing audit trails. This was probably the most complex and hardest project that I dealt with throughout my time at Orlando Associates. This is probably the project that they said that they probably would have never given an intern. They really entrusted me, being that I was super professional and was willing to take on the task. Sorry, just lost my place. The third project that I wanted to share that I completed during my time was medical and bill summaries. So in personal injury law, this is really important because when you demand settlement, you're making sure that you are allocating for all the medical records and the bills, so that way the insurance can pay back the victim, especially because this was a prosecutor's office rather than a defense office, so you're most likely supporting the victims. And then the last project that I want to share that is kind of important to Colby-Sawyer's values is outreach. So outreach is really important to me as well in learning how to be confident in emails, phone calls, just talking to clients in general. In public speaking like this, it's really important to get your name out there and appreciate the client's time that they put in for you and vice versa. So besides the important projects that I completed, I also felt on a broader view that I had made an impact. For myself, I've been impacted greatly in my experience at ONA. I learned new legal terms, policies, procedures. I gained some future contacts. They also offered me a job in terms of security after I go through law school and pass the bar, hopefully. So that's something that was really exciting out of my experience, just being a junior intern. And most notable, which was really cool, is my confidence in myself and the way that I, exude confidence. It was really nice to see in myself because usually I'm more introverted, but being around these people that were confident and knew what they were doing helped me bolster mine as well. For myself, I have become an additional asset besides an academic and athletic student. I have become an example of how the Harrington Center's internships can broaden our horizons. I also aided in helping other students with how unsure they were about completing internships. I still stand strong in my opinion today that internships are super helpful in determining and finding your calling, like Summaries had just mentioned as well as Noel. I think, throwing yourself in there head first is really important. That way you can figure out, oh, I really want to do this, or oh, I really don't want to do this. So I thought that was an asset as well. And for the community overall, like the Centipede region and all around us at Colby-Sawyer, not only as a college student in pursuit of graduate school and later a job, I now can make new connections with community members like you all through alumni, also through the experience of my law firm. I can also be a positive addition to the job force here in New London. Maybe I can start a law firm. I can also emphasize my newly learned skills in community outreach discussions like this. I really appreciate all of you listening and taking the time to hear what I have to say about my internship today. If you do have any questions, ask now. I also left my business card as well. Thank you. What was my favorite part of the internship? Probably one of my favorite parts was going to depositions and everything, because those are super specific to law, and I know that I would be doing that in any field of law. So that was really nice to see, not just personal injury, but you can go through that as any type of lawyer. So that was really nice to be involved in, and they kind of threw me into the fire and were like, pay attention. So that was really nice. And then afterwards, my boss and I would debrief in his office, and he would ask me questions, I would ask him questions, and which was really, nice, because it's kind of intimidating being an intern. You're like, oh, I can't ask any questions, I have to do the job right. So it's really nice to have that support system as well. So that answers the question. Anybody else?
One more question.
No, it's okay.
So it's a very detailed job, obviously.
Very detailed.
Very
Yeah.
detailed. So, do you want to be, this was a prosecutor?
Yeah, it's a personal injury firm. They normally defend the victims rather than the perpetrator, I guess, if you want to put it in those terms. So, like, let's say that I hit your car with my car, they would represent you rather than me. So,
And that's what you want.
I'm not really sure. I was just kind of recommended to this law firm by one of my professors here at Colby-Sawyer, Professor Ebatcher. But it's definitely one of my interests. The law is very broad, so there's been different, aspects that I could go into. It was just nice to try something new. So, thank you.
Thank you, Val. Okay, our next presenters are three of them. Isabel Marisola, Caitlin Bell, and Caitlin Baraka and Sarah Bell, sorry. They're going to talk about their working under the science. Sorry, it's going to happen.
Well, those figuring that out, I can start by introducing ourselves. My name is Isabel Marisola. I'm a junior in child development education director.
I'm Caitlin Baraka. I'm a sophomore in child development education program major. I'm Sarah Bell. I'm a sophomore in the child development.
So our whole kind of spiel for this is invoking wonder through science, and this was kind of started off as looking at the curriculum that teachers are teaching science in the classroom, which is very much focused on repeating back what the teacher is giving the students rather than There we go. So our kind of big question was how can we make science engaging for students where they're kind of doing their own discoveries and asking their own questions rather than I'm spitting out information and you're just going to bring it back to me. In my opinion, that's honestly not the best way to learn, and we found that when students are hands-on learning themselves, they learn the best and they gain the most amount of material.
So what we did, we had like 3 weeks of in-class learning, and we had lessons with Phil Matsky, right? And he kind of taught us about how do we teach science, but make it engaging for students. And quote Amy, when you see butts in the air, that means students are engaged in their learning. We talked about different hooks that bring in learning. So like when you're teaching about a subject, you want a certain interest to bring students into their learning. And then giving student input can also help with what they want to learn, and then you can teach that to them. And then we did mini lessons with local students as like prep for our big one-on-one teacher revamping their lesson.
Yeah, so we, throughout the 3 weeks, we kind of learned what the whole why of science with Phil Matsky, who's an amazing administrator, to come in and help us with this. And we met 3 times a week, and we would talk about the why of Phil mostly on Fridays. And the other 2 days a week, we would have collaborating teachers who kind of from the area who are looking for some additional push in their science classroom, whether it be with the curriculum that they're teaching or how they're giving the information to the students. They wanted something and we could provide them.
So our mini lesson plans was basically the start of our project, and this led us into what we wanted to start doing for our big project, which we're just getting into now since this school year started. So one of the projects was magnetic slime, which our other classmate Taya did, which was a little bit more. Me and Isabel did Coke and Mentos, which is when you have the bottle of Mentos in and it explodes, and we talked all about that. And then Caitlin and Morgan with the floating.
So for these mini lessons, we had students from the area and they were assigned to different groups between all of the classmates and I. And we were in charge of introducing this topic to the students, allowing them to make questions, and kind of, it was more of a student-based lesson plan where the students wrote the questions, the students led the assignment itself, and we were there to guide them and push them into the right directions that we need to go.
This was Taya's project with my guys on. It was done with the older students. This is more like a older student concept. The kids gravitated to it because it's more trendy, I guess you would say, and very engaging based on what we also have. That's the.
So this is all a nice project. We actually decided to go outside for this one because it can be very messy, and the population for when we did this, we got to practice. And we ended up getting, I don't know what they're called, but you can insert like a ton of Mentos into this, and then it goes in. So it's hard to put the Mentos in when the Coke's there, because it'll just start exploding in. So basically, you can put all the Mentos in from the packages and then move the dial thing, and all the Mentos would drop in, which made a big explosion, which the kids were more intrigued with, and that was really fun to play with.
So our question to the students is kind of what is going to happen, how is it going to look, what is it going to do? If we put more Mentos in, or less in, kind of guiding them to ask different questions to come up with a solution for themselves without us immediately giving them why.
We also had to practice with other services besides Coke to see what the difference would be.
So I was in the group with Morgan, and we did a floating end experiment. It's where you take an M&M, you put it in water, the M peels off and comes to the top of the color all dissolves. And we were trying to get the students to think like why that would happen. If we put it in oil, it would do the same thing. If we put it in cold water, it would do the same thing. So we're just kind of guiding them to get to the water. What happens.
So these are mini lessons, kind of help us as students understand how we are going to implement this within the classroom. And for the end of this internship, we are all going to be incorporated in a elementary school with our collaborating teachers, teaching some sort of lesson that we've come up with to integrate this science curriculum within the classroom itself. And Sarah and I worked this summer on our terrarium project, which involves creating an ecosystem within a jar itself, so that would include water, dirt, pretty much anything that a viable ecosystem would need. And our question was based around mass and mass conservation. So what happens when there are physical and chemical changes within this jar over an extended period of time? Is this mass going to change? And we created our own kind of open and a closed terrarium that we have also and we work together and collaborate with teachers to look at the results and modify what we were seeing to incorporate that into the classroom so that it's classroom friendly and students that are in our classrooms can do it themselves.
So in my terrarium, I'm currently pod, so I have to use a little bit of salt water, rock shells, seaweed, sand, and I use different terrariums in there. And terrariums, I had make those with salt water and fresh water. So and we're gonna go better this week to see if the magic. So I'm really excited to see what's the difference.
I use some materials that were more local, that's what the students are going to be doing, just kind of see what exactly they're seeing themselves. So I just used local lake water from Mountain Lake, Lake. And then dirt rocks, I wanted to see what would happen if there was a living organism in there. So I put particle in there and some leaves, I took kind of acorn sprout, put it in there and saw the progression of the summer. Unfortunately, it didn't last very long. But the acorn leaf itself, it started sprouting, being like within my ecosystem. And so these are just pictures. So those are Sarah's ecosystem. You can see she has 4 of them. 2 of them she opened up once she got home, just got the terrarium, and the other 2 were closed for the entire process. And these are mine, as you can see some of the implements from there. The caterpillars and the one with the pine cone. And we just kept those where they were to kind of keep consistency throughout all variables. Also in long and just kept track of their progress.
We actually got the opportunity to go to Ware Middle School and start the project there, so we got to see what the classroom was like without the students in it. But it was pretty fun.
And going forward, we are going to be incorporated in the classroom. They just started up their unit. So we starting next week, we will be there as much as we can, teaching this lesson to students and guiding them through this kind of student led. Yeah.
So I worked on time of death lab, which was a local high school teacher wanted to focus more on forensic science and revamping that lesson plan. And this unit didn't have a lab aspect to it, so it's more just the teacher spitting out information that we don't want. So having a lab component would get them more engaged. So I pitched this idea to her, she was all for it. We met together over the summer, got materials, and we ran the lab a few times to make sure it was perfect and what we wanted the students to do. And then we made our final preparations when we would meet and do it next time. I was in the class today working on it with them, and this was December.
So the whole big idea of this is kind of being able to be in a classroom and working hands-on with a teacher or a facilitator, whatever you may, and kind of gaining experience through this new idea of science, incorporating it hands-on, and being there throughout the whole process instead of just getting this idea to the teacher and run with it. We are now in the classroom teaching it from start to finish, understanding what's going on, seeing where it's going to be, and even adding suggestions as to where the teacher should go from it afterwards.
Every teacher that we worked with said that we can take the lead on it and basically be able to be in the classroom, teach them by ourselves. If we wanted them to step down, they would, or if we wanted them to step up and we would step down and just watch it and observe. So they're giving us a lot of leisure with that, which is very good. Is there any questions?
Yes.
What age group or groups does this cover?
So we are, I believe we're all in middle school range and high school. I'm in high school.
So me and Isabel are in seventh grade, working at Ware Middle School with Claire.
And then I'm at John Stark Regional High School with Heather Brady, and it's a class from sophomores to seniors.
And then our other two students, I don't know what school they're in, but they're working with Tara. Just curious, middle school.
Yeah. So it's an older range than we do have a range between middle school and high school, which is really amazing to me, at least because I personally have worked with an older school range. I've only worked with an elementary school, so it puts me out of my comfort zone, not only being a leader within the classroom, but also working with other kids.
And this Friday, Isabel and I are going to observe classrooms to see what the kids are like, which is going to be a good, to see how our process is going to go. Is this the age range you want to work in? The high school, or
Yeah, so we, through the education program, the education prep program, we will be certified as K through 6, with our full enrollment with EI. So we can start teaching the students who graduate, which is an amazing opportunity. So I am leaning towards elementary school or something else, but I'm definitely open to kind of broader background. Nothing else. Anything else? We have things that.
So that is actually a great example of community engaged learning, right? Completely hands-on project within the community.
I didn't even need to talk. No, I just turned it right over to you guys right in the beginning. Good job, all of you.
So I just want to tell you a little bit about how to make this happen if you do want to use our students as resources. So it's a fairly easy process from your end in terms of the steps you need to take. You know, probably the most difficult part of having an experience for a student is coming up with something that is. But it's not all about the student. It is about the student, but it's also about how it benefits you. So if you guys want to, all the employers in there, grab this on the table behind, holding up the paper. It outlines in a little more detail than I'll go into about how to contact us. Our cards are right here, and get the process started. So if you want, it needs to be a little bit before. Like right now, you could say, hi, it's a fall intern because it's already registered student, there are classes. A little bit of planning needs to take place. So start planning now for a spring intern. And then contact us and say, hey, how do I get this class started? And then we will sit down with you. We'll help you construct the verbiage for an experience. We'll come up with an experience. And we'll also encourage you to join Handshake, which is our job search platform that we use here on campus. And you can post your internship job, whatever it is that you have, on this platform. And it's seen by our students and a ton of other students because it's a huge platform. So it's a benefit to you in that you're getting your job out there. Okay? And the job market's a little tough right now finding people, right? So this goes into employer benefits, student benefits, the opportunities, and then posting them, and that goes into a little bit about Handshake. And take this as well, and this will just tell you a little bit about the Harrington Center and what we're about and what we want to benefit the community. And again, my name is Noel, my card and Jen's card will attach to this, so please take this as you need. Yes.
I don't mean to interrupt. This is a good one.
Yeah.
I think you guys did a fantastic job presenting, and I really applaud your public speaking skills. Far better than mine were at your age. I'm in a manufacturing company. I'm having a difficult time connecting internships like what you're talking about to a manufacturing environment, because it's an ongoing process. You can have people who come in and spend 6 months or whatever the period of time is, learning about different manufacturing processes. And when they go, those manufacturing processes are going to continue. There really aren't special projects.
Okay.
And anyway, I'm just, how does that work?
Well, I'm thinking also like, any place needs marketing help, right? You need a marketing team within your company to help.
You'd think so, but not always.
Not always, okay, but I'm just sort of on the fly thinking here, you know, students get help from you. like-
Specifically where, as an employer, where I need help is training people to do manufacturing work. And I'm not critical at all of your education system, but nobody is training people to do that work.
Understood. Yeah, I mean, I don't even have a good idea of what that would entail, honestly. But you're looking for people who can like train the workers?
No, I have a situation where, because of COVID, one employee started working on Saturday and Sunday as 2 of his 5 days a week. And it occurs to us that it's a perfect opportunity to have an adult experienced person work with somebody who might just be interested in a 3-month opportunity. For me personally, when I was 18 or 19 years old, I started my career washing toilets and sinks in a facility similar to what it is I do for a business, and I own a business today. So it's a bit of a stretch, I understand, but
Yeah.
I would be looking for providing opportunities to people where they'd have to connect some dots.
Sure.
That the business and the marketing opportunity might exist, but they have to understand what's being made and how it's being made.
I think that would be part of your training process, you know?
But of course, I don't expect people to know what they're doing when they enter the door,
Yeah,
but the positions that I would have would be basically operating machinery.
yeah.
Um,
Well, the point of internships is a really a guided mentor experience for the students, so they, you know, they need someone who is the expert. They're being taught, all the while still benefiting the employer.
It just may not be an expert in marketing or
Perhaps not.
computer science or any of the other sexy.
Well, listen, Rob,
Anyway,
take this. and
do you
we can discuss
envision
this
that that
further.
might work?
I would like to.
We just have to figure it out a little bit.
Yeah, no, and it would take more than a conversation right here to figure it
Yeah,
out.
okay.
Sure. So please contact us. What's your name?
Howard Ho,
And what are you manufacturing?
you're most familiar with the Kearsarge shop.
Okay. Oh, okay.
We're a printing company.
So graphic design.
Well, I don't need any help. And there are lots of people graduating from tech schools
Yeah,
looking for graphic design jobs.
sure, yeah.
I need a folder operator, potentially.
Okay.
And it isn't just you're stuck being a folder operator, although that could be a career choice for some people. But it's a component of running a business. I would wager that in small businesses, which makes up something like 70 or 80% of the employment opportunities in this country, understanding the whole picture
Understood,
is
yeah.
an important part of being an entrepreneur in that environment.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Well, noted, for sure, and this warrants further conversation, but
I
it does bring up,
appreciate the forum.
it does bring up a good point that, you know, talk to us, connect with us, and we can talk it through, we can figure out an experience, and something that we should do. And so that concludes our presentation today. I want to say thank you to Ashley Alley, who is the Kearsarge or Lake Sunapee Region, sorry, Chamber of Commerce, and she is the director of that effort. And just want to say thank you, Ashley.
Thank you everyone for coming out. Thank you to the students for taking some time out of your day to present to us.
it's really helpful to kind of hear some of your stories and how we can turn around and turn those into actual physical activities for kids to do, for students to kind of explore. As business owners, we know there's a challenge to find these opportunities and to come up with them. I know the chamber, we're considering an intern as well, but it's one of those situations where you sit back and go, where do I start? What do I do? I don't understand. You know, it's not like a regular job description. So that's where Noelle and her team can really help out. And I think that's the most important. The handout that they created is 100% perfect. I was reading over and back, and that's what I was looking for, something that was a step-by-step. Where do I start? I didn't even know how long is an internship. You know, what kind of paperwork do I need to do in order to get that approved, to get it on something like Handshake. So it's definitely great to have that resource there, and being able to have all the contact information to follow up is great as well. So thank you so much for coming out and kind of exploring this world. Hopefully we can connect students with some of our businesses and get some help and some hands, some creative juices for them. That's hopeful, you know, hope for it. So thank you very much for coming out. And thank you for organizing. And thanks again for our students. Here's the syllabus part back here.
Thank you, Ashley.
Thank you. We'll connect later. Okay, perfect.